British Columbia, Canada. And Tim McCoy right here in Las Vegas in that Musey-powered 69 Camaro. That thing is badass. But so is this 68 Camaro in the right lane. John DeJong out of Canada in the top sportsman car. This thing is a beast, goes A to B every round. Now, it is not the quickest car on the property. John knows that, but he is a top sportsman racer. He's good on the tree. He can pick up something there. Yeah, and incredibly consistent. As Gage says, that car has run the same number all weekend long in both classes. So let's see if the Canadian can take out the Vegas local. 68 versus 69 Camaro. John is in all the way. Oh, sorry, pre-stage. I thought he bumped it all the way. They're both in. John leads on him in the right lane. Tim trying to drive it down there. Tim got way out of the groove. Wisely rolls into it soft. And John DeJong going rounds out of Canada in the right lane. And Tim McCoy, man, that thing was on a run, but got out of the groove and he had to pedal it. As we are in Hughes Performance big tire right now. Pro Charger, Pro 275, you can come to lane 7 and 8. Remember, Pro 275 and all of our chip draw classes, we want you to pull into the lanes with your pairings. So you need to line up at the back of the lanes until your competitor comes up, and then you need to roll up into the lanes together. If your competitor does not show up, you will run at the very end anyway. So do not come up into the lanes if you are not in your pairing. Tommy Johans down there in the right lane, losing to Steve Nicholson in the left lane on that pair. Robert Bingham in that awesome 67 Nova up against Lance Knigge in another awesome 67 Nova. Bingham's car does it for me, dude. Gets me all fired up in my tingly bits. That thing is rad. I love that car. And oh, by the way, also love Lance's, because both of these things are evil beasts. And they are a great pairing here in Big Tire. Last run down the racetrack, both of these cars had the wheels up. Lance has got the pre-stage bulbs already lit. Bingham taking his time now. He's all the way in. Oh, no way. Bingham goes red. Oh, wow. And yet Carnegie almost throws it away as Carnegie gets right out next to the center line. We got smoke in the left lane. Bingham losing that one to Carnegie. Carnegie almost threw it away as he drove that thing all the way to the center line. That was exciting. Wow. All right. Pro Charger Pro 275. Again, we're calling you to 7 and 8 after you get your pairings done at the back of the lanes. That's on you guys. All of our elimination rounds in laddered fields that are either chip draw or based on a ladder like you Pro Mod guys, you need to pair up at the back of the lanes. All right, I'm getting word that they're doing one little final check, but it appears that the left lane is clean and happy. So up next, we've got Nick Johans. Nick Johans going up against Rod Burbage. This is going to be a fun one. The 2010 Camaro versus the 65 Chevelle. I'm going for the blow-up car because I'm an old car guy. Uh-oh. That was a wee burnout. See, now that was a real burnout. Now, Nick was doing good burnouts yesterday, so I'm not sure what's going on here, but it looks like his crew is going to maybe pull him back into the water. Maybe. No, they're all right. He just wanted to clean him off. Good for him. This track is tight. Maybe he's looking at it going, hey, I need a little more wheel speed. Let's not do a crazy burnout. Either way, I don't care. We're going to have, oh, no. Here they go. They are pulling Nick back into the water. I got to tell you, his crew needed to have him do that quicker. Oh, that car does not sound good. Thing does not sound like it's revving up. Somebody maybe set the throttle stop a little low on that thing, or the burnout rev limiter low, something. Hopefully that doesn't matter when it comes time to putting it on the chip and sending it down the racetrack. All right, so Burbage in the right lane, out of Andron, California. Nick in the left lane out of Castle Rock, Colorado. Nick pre-stages. Rod pre-stages, Nick's all the way in there in. No. Oh my God, that is not what you would have expected to go down right there. As Rod Burbage looked like everything was right, that thing didn't leave the starting line. And Nick, who had trouble and the thing never ran good either, just motors on down the left lane. That was not what we would have thought was going to go down up here. That's why drag racing, you never know till you know. Up next, David Mendez and Calvin Franco. Franco in the right lane, coming up in the Radial car. You heard that right. Running big tire on a 315 Radial in the right lane. Now, Franco has not been down the racetrack clean yet. He's getting closer and closer, but he's trying to run this thing again on a Radial tire on a non-Radial prepped pair of lanes. Pro 275 to 7 and 8, please. Pro 275, I'm missing 3 of you. So like I said, Franco, they need to calm this thing down just a little bit more to get it down the racetrack. Dave Mendez, meanwhile, in that Challenger, he's been going A to B. That thing's a bad beast right there. Now, I will note that they are lined up at the very far left side of that groove. I don't mean like a little over to the left. I'm talking the left side tires are right at the edge of that groove. Now, if they've seen this car trying to go right in the middle, maybe they're trying to line it up as far over to the left as they can in order to help with that. But we'll have to see right here as Mendez out of Tualatin, Oregon, going up against Franco out of Mooresville, North Carolina. Oh, and he blazes the tires, but he pedals it. Franco getting it all the way down. And Calvin Franco takes the win. Mendez having issues. And only gets out about 250 or 300 feet and parks it. Theodore Logan Senior, over there in the 02S10, was supposed to be going up against Ben Wilkinson. Wilkinson not making the call this morning. So Teddy over there in the right lane gets a single run. Up next, Chad Grimm out of Roosevelt, Utah, getting the single as Cody Dow. That Malacote Brothers Barracuda not making the call. I know they entered in a couple of classes, so that could be why. Limited small tire. You guys can come to 1 and 2 after you pair yourselves up. Limited small tire. We need you guys to pair up at the back of the lanes and then come to 1 and 2. Limited small tire. Pair up and come to the lanes 1 and 2, please. Precision Turbo Pro Mod, you are still on standby. We had a little bit of a delay, but we're going to be calling you guys up as soon as we start Pro 275. So here in just a few minutes, probably 10, we'll give you guys a call up here. Pro Mod, it's your 10-minute warning. Grimm looking good. That thing dead hooked, though. Pulled the motor down, but it rolled right on through. As we go into Speed Society Open Comp, ladies and gentlemen. Pro 275, you should be paired up and in lane 7 and 8. Limited small tire, you guys can get paired up at the back of the lanes and then come to 1 and 2.
Once again, like we said, Pro 275, you should be in lanes 7 and 8, and limited small tire to lanes 1 and 2, please. Make sure you come up with your dance partner to your designated lanes. As we are in our Speed Society Open Comp. This is our 5/10 Pro Tree, so it's 1/10 slower of the Flash of the Amber. Paul Calvert, left-hand side, the 76 Mustang Mark II. Mike Panunzio, the 67 Camaro. 17 green to a 31 red. Better reaction time goes to the Camaro. Getting there first is the Camaro. 1062 at 126 miles an hour. Calvert 1236 at 87. Peggy Burns now, the 64 Fairlane. Frank Scorsia, right hand side, the 63 Pontiac Le Mans. Peggy Burns earlier in the weekend was like perfect. Turned at 129 here, 1188 at 110 miles an hour. Frank Scorsia 1058 at 120 miles an hour. Now Doug Carter, the 94 Camaro, Joe Velocity in the shoebox. Everybody's hitting close to the tree. That means one thing. They know it's race day. 002 red for Doug Carter. 32 green for Velocity. 1059 at 126 exactly for the big shoebox. 1084 at 102 for Doug Carter. As now we got Jacob Trammell, the 79 Malibu, and Monty LaFrenz, the 86 Thunderbird. Me personally, I'd pick the Thunderbird. That thing's just so cool. Nothing wrong with a good old Thunderbird. It makes me think of Bob Glidden. 19 on the red side, though. Gonna have to slow it down just a bit for the next time they come around for round number 1. 982 at 113 miles an hour. Trammell 1122 at 92 miles an hour. So our number 1 qualifier based off reaction time is Steve Erickson with a 005 and V Dolifon, who's on the line right now in the right hand side. Number 2 tied with the number 1 spot, trying to go 1 thou better. Gotta be 004 better. Not right here. Daniel Dolifon in the left hand side, just a little bit behind on the tree of V. 969 at 141. Had better of the 2 elapsed times. V 1023 at 124 miles an hour. So it brings up Cliff Wilkinson, the 85 Grand National. Melanie Cox in the Cobra Jet for Calvert Racing. The factory Superstock. $57 green for Melanie, $269 for the Grand National. $951 at 110 miles an hour for Melanie. Cliff, $978 at 137 miles an hour exactly. Steve Erickson, how about this? 2 different styles of going with the Ford Mustang. Steve Erickson, the slam down, almost like a little bit more modified 2007 Ford Mustang GT 500, and John Calvert, the bad to the bone 2019 Cobra Jet with the supercharger on it. Normally runs this thing in super stock. Give the quicker ET to the Super Stocker. 50 green, 850 at 137 miles an hour. Steve Erickson, 13 green, 880. Had the better mile an hour, though. Just 100th short of 140 miles an hour. As that brings up our last two, Patrick Naveau, the 63 Tempest. Ron Pister, the 69 Nova. And that is the fastest Tempest I've ever seen, because I've seen like 4 of them in my lifetime. .965 at 111 miles an hour for the Tempest. See, I told you it's fast. Ron Pister, 1193 at 77 miles an hour to wrap up Speed Society Open Comp, as now we are rolling into RacingJunk.com Electronics. Another based off reaction time qualifying category. 8th mile bracket racing, delay boxes are allowed so you can hit it off the top. Kevin Crandall in the dragster left-hand side. Your current number 3 qualifier had a 004. So the number 1 and number 2 spots are already locked in. Jeremy Plyler gets your number 1 spot with a perfect reaction time. And Carl Canavo locked in at the number 2 spot with another perfect reaction time. Crandall trying to just keep hold of the 3rd place on the qualifying sheet. He's got his son Jacob in the Nova right-hand side. He's sitting in the number 8 spot. 009 is his best. 006, Jacob Crandall's going to improve his position on the qualifying sheet. Kevin Crandall, 009, 549 at 124. 735 at 91 miles an hour for Jacob.
Attention in the pits, attention in the pits. Pro Mod, this is your warning. Pro Mod, get them off the jacks, get them hooked up to the push bar, because we're going to be calling you guys to the lanes here in just a bit, all right? So we are going to be calling you guys to the lanes here in just a couple of minutes, all right? So again, Pro Mod, get them off the jacks, get them hooked up to the push bars and ready to go. We are going to call you to the lanes here in just a minute.
Antonio Height, right-hand side. He's number 5 with a 006. Doesn't improve here. 11 green. Steve Valdez, 57. 559 at 123. For the Nova, the Vega, 659 at 102 miles an hour. Marvia Hawker, left-hand side in the Spitzer prepared dragster. The upswept headers. Borlas, out of Alberta. Jeremy Plyler, your number 1 qualifier, had a perfect reaction time and locked himself into the number 1 spot with the 72 Nova out of Douglas, Arizona. You know what? Jeremy Plyler is looking like a beast in the electronics category this weekend. 15 green. That's probably like one of the worst he's had this weekend. 601 at 112.
Plyler definitely one to watch this weekend. He just seems to be getting better and better and better. He is in the groove. And when you're in the groove in a bracket car, that makes you dangerous.
It gets scary real quick for the other people. It's like, I don't want to line up next to him. No, I don't want to do it. You do it. Terry Langston Davies, left-hand side. The 41 Willys Coupe. You gotta like that. Markel Jackson, right-hand side. Had a problem yesterday on his run. Hopefully got it figured out. 535 at 130 for the Coupe. 665 at 103 for Markel.
Pro Mod, Pro Mod, Pro Mod. Get to the back of the lanes for pairings. Pro Mod, get to the back of the lane. Find your dance partner and come on down to 3 and 4. Pro Mod, this is your call to the lanes. Pro Mod, come on down. Get your pairings in the back of the lane and come on down to 3 and 4. Pro Mod, you know what to do. You guys are the pros. Get your pairings and get to lanes 3 and 4, please. Pro Mod to lanes 3 and 4.
Reed Taylor now. The 23 Ford Roadster left-hand side. And Jason Dawson coming in last second. I know he had work, so. Jason, the 2010 American Race Cars Prepared Dragster. Making his one and only hit. That's all he needs. Goes 31 on the tree. Reed Taylor 463 at 149 for Dawson. That's probably the fastest dragster on the property.
You're welcome.
538 at 126 for Reed. So that brings up Jeremy Rapp. Right-hand side, the HBR competition engines. The Racecraft Prepared Dragster. Nick Pressimone, the reigning Streetcar Super Nationals RacingJunk.com Electronics Champion. Nick trying to defend a title this weekend, making final preparations with one final qualifier, 76 Nova, in the left-hand side.
Dude, that car is bad to the bone because the dude behind the wheel is a killer.
Jeremy Rapp ain't no slouch himself. 11 green for him right there. 467 at 148. 573 at 119 for Nick. As Nick, I feel like he's found his spot on the tree. And now he can just adjust the delay box just a little bit and maybe get some good runs out of it.
Absolutely. He also knows how much quicker he gets when he's amped up for actual elimination rounds. And that just comes from experience of doing it, right? You know, when we get into E1, I got to pull, 5 numbers or put 5 numbers in the box, whatever it is, to be right where he needs to be. He is no slouch as he's defending his title from last year.
Yeshua Wilcox now, left-hand side. The 2018 Top Sportsman Style Camaro, left-hand side. And Keith Winters. The Mullis Dragster, right-hand side. And Keith. Last time out with that dragster, he didn't have, the best of times. Told me he had a certain rod failure. Getting that thing sorted out. 26 green, 467 at 138. Yeah, Keith's back to his old ways.
Yeah, but Yeshua going red by a lot. 040. He missed the box on that one for sure. Pro Mod, Precision Turbo Pro Mod. You should get your pairs and get to lanes 3 and 4, please. Pro Mod, we need you to lanes 3 and 4, please. Nitrous Outlet Super Index. You are on standby. Mickey Thompson Tires Turbo X275. Mickey Thompson Tires X275. You guys are also on standby.
You know what, Chad? I think I just broke the jinx right there because I said Keith Winters was all good, and then it's pulling over at the bottom of the hill.
It's your fault.
I know, I broke it this time. Yeah, Keith did not have a good time last time out with that dragster and had to bust his hump to get that thing ready to go for this weekend.
Yeah, we're hearing from the top end that it looks like it's dry underneath the car. That's a great sign. We are going to check the top end of the track just to make sure, but it looks like if it broke, it did not make a mess. So that's great news.
All right. So as we get Keith off the track, hopefully Keith can get that thing fixed. I know Keith's tired of working on that thing constantly. He just wants to go out and race, man. So hopefully Keith has everything okay as your number 2 qualifier, guaranteed in the left lane. The pizza man, Carl Canavo, had a perfect light in his last run yesterday. The maroon colored dragster and Zach Eldred in the Chevelle. Pizza Man a little bit tardy for himself, but not as tardy as Zach Eldridge. 138 on the green side. That needs to be way better by the next time he comes rolling up. Otherwise, he's going to be visiting the buyback window. John DeJong. The supercharged 68 Camaro with the 598 under the hood. Had a wild, close first round in the big tire category. Gonna take on the little itty bitty junior comp car of Cash and Fry.
So last round yesterday, Cashin went 001 red. So that thing is right there.
And he's foot braking that.
I know.
That's not off the top.
No, exactly. This thing is a legit junior comp car. Oh, goes red by 6 thou. No.
You know what I recommend, Cashin? Lower the front tire air pressure just a little bit. That's all you need. Do not change a thing.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Cashin's like going down the track going, wow, look at John DeJong go 444.
I know. That was awesome. But that was their last round of qualifying for electronics. So that's okay. It's just a qualifier. They make that adjustment, like you said, change some tire pressures, and be ready to go.
As we got our final car in our RacingJunk.com electronics qualifier, Eric Daniels, the small block 76 Vega.
Pro mod. We need you guys to lanes 3 and 4 after you get paired up at the back. Pro mod to 3 and 4, please. Attention in the pits, attention in the pits. Nitrous Outlet Super Index. It is time to come down for your final qualifier. Nitrous Outlet Super Index, please come to lanes 5 and 6. Nitrous Outlet Super Index, please come to lanes 5 and 6. Mickey Thompson Tires X275, you are on standby. Real Steel, you are also on standby. We will be calling you to the lane shortly. As we go into Pro Charger Pro 275, this is another one of our no time categories. So in the right lane, we have the 68 Camaro of Peter Campbell out of West St. Paul, British Columbia, Canada. Oh, no, sorry, Manitoba, Canada. And Jeff Young in the left lane out of Idaho Falls, Idaho, in the 05 Corvette. Young has been putting on a clinic in this car. So Pete Campbell is going to have to be on his game as well. We know he is. Both of them leave clean, except Young goes red. Young throwing it away because he knew he had to be on his game, but goes red, and Peter Campbell moving on. Coming up next in the right lane, Dan DeGata. Dan has had a lot of trouble getting down the racetrack so far. But the Impala having trouble in the water. Barely able to spin the tires. They're going to back that thing back into the water, I would think, but I don't know what's going on. They're all standing there staring at it. If they're going to do something, they need to do it quick, as Dan DeGata is already backed up and getting ready to stage. Dan DeGata getting the bye run, and the thing goes cleanly down the racetrack for the first time. Dan DeGata showed up and said, dude, I'm going to get 4 qualifying runs, and I'm not going to go any other rounds. And he ain't right. I mean, he ain't right for a bunch of reasons, but that's Dan. But he is no stranger to the winner's circle here either. So I'm not going to let him lie to me and say he's got no shot. It's that beautiful Impala doesn't make it. Super, super sad for that team. Great car, beautiful. But here we go. Up next, Johnny Coleman. Coleman out of Lakewood in the 69 Camaro. Coleman going up against Greenberg. Last time Coleman went down the racetrack, he fogged it with some oil down there. I don't know what was wrong with the car. I didn't get to talk to Johnny, but clearly they've gotten that thing sorted out, and he's ready to rock and roll. Coleman spent most of yesterday helping a variety of other teams out on the starting line and probably in the pit area doing some tuning. So let's see what Coleman and Greenberg can do right here. Both of them from SoCal. Greenberg from Santa Clarita. Coleman from Lakewood. 68 Mustang versus a 69 Camaro. Coleman just keeping Greenberg honest as Coleman has problems. I'm sure he knew it. He never revved the thing up. He just staged the car. He either knew he needed other parts to fix this thing and was hoping to get the chance to work on it later, or figured I just better show up either way. But Johnny Coleman not making the hit. I'm not sure if he maybe hurt that thing, hurt the Pro Charger in it or what have you, but sorry to see Johnny Coleman not moving on, but Brian Greenberg going on in that beautiful 68 Mustang. Nitrous Outlet Super Index, you should be in lanes 5 and 6, please. Pro Mod, you should be in 3 and 4. LST, you're in 1 and 2, and we're going to pull you out of the lanes here in just a moment. So you guys should be ready to roll. Frank Yee and Ron Link coming up next. Yee out of Las Vegas in the 03 Mustang. Link out of Sacramento in the 64 Nova. They leave together. Link looked like he might be out front, and he does make it all the way down with the lead. Ron Link out of Sacramento taking out Frank Yee in round number 1 of Pro 275. Lonnie Patrick was supposed to be taking on Andrew Osborne, but Lonnie's out there by himself as Osborne unable to make the call. Attention in the pits, X275 to 7 and 8, please. X275 to 7 and 8. Look at that. Patrick right on down. A little bit of smoke just past the finish line. Lazick, Pro Mod, we need you to the lanes. Lazick, we're missing you. If you guys are not broke, we need you in Pro Mod. If you are broke, come tell somebody, please. Tell Ron. Okay, I am hearing that he is broke, So, all right, Pro Mod, you should be in 3 and 4. As we are getting close to being done with Pro 275, we're going to run limited small tire next, and then we're going to be running Pro Mods. Nitrous Outlet Super Index, you should be in lanes 5 and 6. Super Index, you should be in 5 and 6. X275, you guys should be in 7 and 8, please. David Clark over here in the right lane. In the 01 Mustang out of Idaho Falls, Idaho. Was supposed to be facing Daniel Woods out of Oak Hills. Daniel unable to make the call. So David getting the win after he makes this run. Big wheel stand out there. It carries it out almost to 300 feet. Okay, that was awesome. David Clark throwing down a number. I mean, it's no time. I don't have one, but I can tell you that thing was hauling the mail.
That was one of the baddest runs I've seen this weekend so far.
Yeah, that was evil right there. He went, okay, this has all been cute, but watch this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting ready to start limited small tire. Now remember, real steel. Some of you guys are running in limited small tire. We know that. Real steel, your chip draw is going to happen at the Streetcar Super Nationals trailer immediately following limited small tire. So send somebody over there immediately after you make your run so that we can get you in that chip draw for real steel, because then we're going to have to get you up here after X275. So come on down. Precision Turbo Pro Mod, I love you guys. You're my dudes. Appreciate you guys coming when we called you. We are going to run through LST, and then it's your turn. So Pro Mod, you guys are going to be running after about, 10 pairs or so.